Can you kind of, I am not familiar, with the life of a firefighter. So can you kind of walk us through, I wouldn't say like a typical day, but, you know, what's it like when you're, with the boys? And I know you guys are super fucking tight. It's a brotherhood. And at least while you're in, and we'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
oh, yeah.
But, can you kind of go through the feeling of when you get that call and you're at the firehouse and it's something fucking real. It's going to be dangerous. You're going to see some horrific stuff. And when does that adrenaline kind of start kicking in, and what's the feeling, and kind of walk us through what that's like?
All right. So when your typical morning, when you come in at 7, 8 o'clock, you just never know what you're on for a 24-hour shift. You never know what the day is going to bring you. As a young guy, of course, you want all the action. We all sign up to do these jobs because we want the adrenaline rushes, but over a long, lengthy career, those adrenaline, what we call them adrenaline dumps, it's the rush of getting that hit of adrenaline, and then the call turns out to be nothing, and then it goes back down.
Mm-hmm.
And you ride the highs and lows through a career, and that kills a lot of people over the years, man. Heart disease, and gives them heart attacks. I mean, it will fuck you up.
It rewires your entire fucking brain having that many adrenaline dumps.
Yes, it's fucking crazy. I talk about a scenario, one call or one day on the job where we have multiple calls throughout the day, but all of a sudden I remember one night in my bed, and we're asleep, and you get rocked. You get up, you jump on the rig, you're going to a hot call that you think is hot, and dispatch calls says you're not needed. So you're like, fuck, you turn around, you go back to the firehouse, you back the truck in, your heart rate's fucking 190,000 beats a minute. You get back in your bed, you're trying to go to sleep, you can't go to sleep. And then you go off, you finally drift off to sleep, and bam, you get hit again. And you're back in the truck and you're hauling ass. And it turns out to be another alarm or a call that you're not needed on. So you come back to the house, now it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You get back in the bed. After about another hour, you finally doze off to sleep. Bam, you get hit again. And this is a real call that we went on. This is an exact scenario that's in my book. It was 2-something in the morning, Christmas Eve, and we're going to a fatal vehicle wreck. We didn't know it was fatal at the time. We pull up on the scene. A truck had went off the road, flew through a telephone pole. It was upside down. There's a guy sitting next to the bumper, just sitting there talking to himself. There's beer cans everywhere. And the song "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" is on by Poison. And I would never forget that, because every time I hear that song, I can instantly smell this call. And the reason I say smell it is I smell the grass that they hit, and through it flung mud everywhere. And then I smell the alcohol on the man's breath that I had to crawl up underneath some live hot power lines to pull him out from underneath. They were about two feet off the ground. And my lieutenant's yelling at me to get back. And I had tunnel vision. I just saw a man that needed my help, and I went to get him. And he had agonal breathing. All of his teeth are busted out. He has massive facial trauma. And my face is really close to his because I'm having to do a low profile drag to pull him out. And I can smell the beer emanating from his breath. So just from hearing that song, it takes me right back to that. And man, he expired right there, pissed his pants and died. So it's stuff like that. And then when you get done with that call as a firefighter, firemen, we don't talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
We bury it. We go back to the house, and you just fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
We gotta go make breakfast now.
Yeah.
That's a typical day. Or you can show up and nothing happened, and you're waiting all day and you're anticipating, and it's, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's the call? Where's the call? And nothing ever happens.
I mean, is it a good feeling?
When nothing happens?
No, when something's happening, is it a good feeling?
Man, so I've never done drug. I smoked marijuana twice in my whole life. But I would have to, from what I've heard about crack cocaine, I would think it's that kind of high. It's an immediate rush.
Yeah.
And you just can't get there fast enough. And what you have to be careful of, it's the tunnel vision, like I said, because that's what gets people hurt.
Yeah.
You got to keep an open mind frame.
Yeah.
Or mindset. But your world gets very narrow real quick, because you're seeing this emergency call the whole way, the approach to it when you get there. And afterwards, all that goes away. That euphoric feeling, that high that you experience goes away.
Do you crave it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to put myself in your guys' shoes, and like, I wasn't planning on talking about tunnel vision, but it does fucking kill people, and I never really thought about tunnel vision in EMS or fire service capacity, but even being in a fucking gunfight, if you have to be able to come off of your gun, look around, see what the fuck is going on around you. And a lot of guys, especially that aren't in soft, they get that tunnel vision, and they're focused in on one threat that's shooting at them, and they don't see the 50 other threats, that are in buildings, so I can totally relate. I know it can be hard to come off the immediate task and get a better understanding and some situational awareness of what else is going on in the big picture.
The fog of war on emergency scene is the exact same.
Yeah.
It's like you said, everybody's focusing on the burning building in front of them, but what they're not looking at is the fucking power lines, that the pole is also burning, and now that high power line's about to fall and land in a puddle of water, because we all have water, and whoever's standing in it's about to get lit the fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff like that. It's the cars passing by on the street looking at the fire, and that you're not watching the cars, and the fucking dumbass driving the car is rubbernecking and runs over a fireman. Don't think that shit doesn't happen. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it's shit like that. So
Yeah.
you have to be able to see the whole picture.
What's it like in the truck on the way to the call? I try to put myself in those shoes, and that for me was almost, maybe even more, because it's the anticipation of you getting ready to do whatever you're going to do. And I feel like it might be kind of similar to like us when we're in a helicopter and we're on the way to a fucking target. And then you get that 5 minutes out, you get that 1 minute out, 30 seconds out, and every time hack, it's just like, shit, like it's fucking going down in 30 seconds. And then you're on the ground, and sometimes things kind of, I don't want to say slow down, but you don't have fucking time to be nervous anymore. It's all performance, and the preparation, the mental preparation that you're giving yourself in the helo on the way to the target. What are you guys doing in the fire truck? You get in the fire truck. When do you find out what the fuck you're responding to?
So that's the $1 million question, right? So what we're going off of information relayed from someone who's on scene with no emergency training, relaying that to a dispatcher who has emergency training, who in turn tries to paint a picture to us. We've been on tons of calls, and it's never like you think it is. It's usually more fucked up than you can imagine. So it's eerily quiet on the way to calls. You hear we're not all high-fiving and dancing in the back of the thing. We're all getting into like our assignment mode, depending on what position I'm riding in the rig. If I'm a roof guy, if I'm a vent guy, you're listening to that call, trying to what we call a scene size up. Normally the incident commander, whoever that is, the first arriving unit, tries to do a scene size up and paint you a beautiful picture of what's going on, because now that is boots on the ground for us. That is the trained personnel, the professional who's been there, done it. And now they can paint you a Picasso of what the fuck you're coming into. And usually you're literally right behind them and right on top of them. So you only have a few seconds to process that information. So if I hear, we have a fully involved structure, fire's vented through the roof, I know, okay, I'm a vent guy on a ladder truck. We're the guys that go on the roof and cut the holes. That's out the window right now. We don't need to do that, put the saws up. But if you hear 25% involvement, we got people trapped. Now you're thinking, okay, instead of vent mode, I might have to go into search and rescue mode, because that's what we guys on the trucks do. I'm a truck guy, what we call a truckie, and we talked about that last night.
Yeah.
Engine company guys, they carry the hose, right, and they go in and put the fire out with water. The truck guys, we do search and rescue and ventilation operations, where we try to expel all the toxic fumes and the superheated gases from a structure, and we try to get that out to take a little pressure off the guys with the hose company that goes in to put the fire out. So there can be multiple different assignments you're going into, and it's just very chaotic when you're getting there. So everybody's usually quiet. And then when we get there, we just figure it out and we go, and it's game time.